So, good evening guys, welcome to, I've forgotten the issue numbers now, issue 11 and 12. Today we will be working on the cab floor and the rear wall of the cab.
I've pounded the road from coast to coast, Yorkie and me rolling on. 'Cause a long day's run can be short on fun without Yorkie to help me along.
So, hello. So we'll start off with issue 11. Now we've not got that many pieces, but it's quite a big piece, so we can understand why there's not many. So not a massive amount to do. So we've got piece 1101, which is the cab floor panel. We have piece number 2, which is the trailer brake control. So there it is. Obviously that's going to control the trailer. Well, in real life it would. And then we have the cab hook tilt lock. We also have 3 PWB 2x3x4mm screws, and I've taken them out of the packet because there's only one screw that we're going to be using in this issue, so we shouldn't get confused. So the first thing we want to do is take the cab hook tilt lock. Yes, the cab tilt. Do you know, I've got the parts the wrong way round. This is the trailer brake control, and this is the cab hook tilt lock. So we want to take this piece, and we need to identify where it's going to go. Now, smooth side up, detail pointing up as opposed to detail pointing down. On the side there, we've got a little recess. Now then, what's going to happen is that this is going to go, and you see we've got a screw hole there, that's going to go into there like so, and that will go flush like that. Just making sure I've got this the right way around. Now that hole will line up with a screw hole there, so you see as it comes in, it just covers that hole. And then all we're going to do is we're going to take a PBW screw. Be careful if you put that down like that, because there is a small part. If I now push too hard on that, I could end up snapping that end off. In fact, actually I've just lost the whole bit. Right, so I put my finger there just to support it, and I'm just going to screw that in, and hopefully that works fine. There we go, and that's in perfect. So yeah, that looks good to me. I was just thinking, I wasn't sure which way round this cab goes. Now obviously if this is the front, then this is on the wrong side because it's a right hand drive, but I think this is the way the cab goes. We'll see. So the next step is a little bit confusing, and the reason it's confusing is because it's all black on black, and so it's hard to see the detail. Sometimes we build parts, we're not sure how the thought process is of it going together. But it says it's still working on the underside. Remember, we've been working on the underside there. Working on the underside of the cab floor. Identify the screw socket for the trailer brake controller. This is towards the back edge. It is circled in yellow, and it's actually there, and you'll see there's a screw hole and a peg. Now this is where I got confused, and I had to double check many times. Fit the brake controller 11.2 in place over the raised screw socket in the floor. The small peg on the floor fits into the small hole in part 11.2. So we put it on that way. Now obviously again, I don't know the thought process, but this is the underside. I don't understand why that's pointing down, so that's what I wanted to double check. So I've had a little look a little bit forward, gone forward one stage, and I can see that it is actually sticking up. Can you see how it's hard to see because it's black on black? But I do believe that this middle piece needs to be recessed, and this peg goes upwards. And then all we're going to do is take our PBW screw, which is a top hat screw as we sometimes like to call them, we're going to screw that in, and that's in fine. Now the good thing here is that because it's screwed in, if it turns out that is wrong, we can just unscrew it, but I am confident that's in correctly. So there we go, guys, that is issue 11 complete, and on to issue 12. I'll just pop this just to one side, just to give us a bit of room just to look at the parts. And this is the rear wall of the cab, and we have got, interestingly enough, I thought this was metal, but it's painted, and it's painted to the same standard as the metal work, as you can see, so it all matches nicely. But this is the cab rear wall, and we have this black bit and this green bit. We then have the panel for the, I'm going to have to tip this upside down because it's in there quite well. This is the rear panel for the rear cab wall, and then we have some PB 2x3x6mm screws. There should be 3 in there, which there are, and one of those is spare. So let's begin. So we need to take the rear wall panel, and it's this way round, and check how it fits. Take the rear wall panel, check how it fits into the recess in the centre of the cab, and that's gonna go in there. So you see we have 4 holes there, and we have 4 tabs, and that is just going to go in there. It kind of clicks in place. Is it going to click in place? Might just need a bit of manipulating. Don't want to push too hard because I don't want to break those tabs. So there we go, that's gone in fine. So make sure the tabs are in, and that's holding firmly. So that's now going to be extremely difficult to remove. So this is what it looks like from the back, and then the next step that we want to do is holding it this way with the with this middle panel upwards. This is going to go on to here. Now this is actually really good. So we have got a screw hole there and a screw hole there, and that corresponds with the screw holes there, but in addition you have a little cutout in the middle with a little tab there. And what's going to happen is we've got 3 connection points. We've got the screw hole there, screw hole on the other side, and then just make sure that that middle tab goes into that hole there, like so. Now that is fairly solid on its own. Obviously we are going to apply 2 screws. Make sure it is all connected, and then what we'll do is we will pop two screws. This I have to check because they have given us 3 screws, but there's only 2 screw holes. So I am just double checking. That's interesting. So they've given us, oh of course, sorry, I've just lost how to count. I thought there was, for some reason I thought there was 4 screws, but there's actually 3. So we need 2 screws and one is spare. So beginning from the underside, I'm just going to support that, and I'm just going to pop a screw into there, and as usual I'm just going to put it in just enough to bite, and then once we've got this second screw in, we can then check that everything is in correctly. There we go, I think that's all in nicely. And so what we'll do is we'll continue to screw this in. And then the second one, we're just going to go, these are only plastic parts, so we need to let it tell us when it's in. And that is surprisingly solid. I know there's going to be more to come, but for 2 sides of a box, that is actually extremely solid. You know, there's bits you could pick holes in, but you know that the cab is going to be 6 sides of a box, and this is only 2. So now I can see which is the back and which is the front, so this is definitely on the correct side. I'm only 10 minutes into the video, so let's have a little bit of a speculate, shall we? So this is our seat, so I would guess that the seat is going to go there, and that's pretty much all I can speculate with, because we've got a driver's door that's going to go on there somehow, but we've got absolutely no connection. Oh, there we go, that's going to go there. That fits really nicely, look. I think there's going to be outer skin on there anyway, because that's plastic there. That doesn't look like the outside bodywork, but at the same time, can you see this bit here? That fits really well. So there you go, guys. That is my issue 11 and 12 complete. So yeah, I'm really happy. So I will be continuing to do 2 issues every week. I will try and get a 3rd one in if I'm able to. Now, at the time of filming this, I do have issues 13 and 14 to film, but I have nothing beyond 14. I am doing a catch-up, but Harshjet have had a problem with their payments. I personally think it's linked to a new online security thing, but it turns out that my banks, I have 2 bank accounts, one for my bills, one for my personal. It can't take money out of either, and I believe it's probably because of the new security system. So we are going to keep trying every week, but my next issues are due next week at time of filming. I mean, this is I can't remember the actual date this is going out, but this is how far ahead I've managed to get myself. So the date today is actually the end of March, and this video isn't even going out till the end of April. So by the time you're watching this, none of what I've just said will be even relevant. I'll have my issues, but yeah, guys. So this is 2 issues build here. I'm still very happy with the build. So hopefully you guys will join me next week when I do issues 13 and 14. Take care, guys. Bye bye.